not do a project without body storming in the future. It should change the way that you think about how you do your designs. In terms of Agile, it's faster than Agile. Body storms can be done in a number of minutes. They can convey information in about 2 or 3 minutes. So instead of having maybe a 20-minute or a 30-minute presentation, a 2-minute or a 3-minute body storm can get across what the major impacts are that you want to do. So if you saw in those videos, how many interfaces did you see? There were interfaces in the air, or there are things written on paper, not even paper prototyping. So it's at a very a limited stage of what you're worried about. You're worried about, instead of what are the impacts that you want this interface to have, what are the impacts of making of this decision support system that you want it to have. So it's incredibly fast, incredibly quick. We saw a video. So the first rule of body storming is you don't talk ideas. So this is going against a little bit about the idea of design as planning. As soon as you start talking about, hey, let's try this or let's try that, you have failed at body storming. So immediately when you're given a problem, you want to have, and we'll try a little body storm. If somebody can give me, let's see, we have about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll try 2 short body storms. So keep me on the straight and narrow. Give me a warning in 5 minutes. The longer that you stand around and just talk about the ideas, the less that you're body storming. So don't sit, don't stand, don't just walk around. Your first act. So you shouldn't say, well, I think somebody would be like this. Start talking as if you are that person and doing exactly what you think that person would be doing. And then the other people in your body storm should take on the other roles and do the exact same thing and interact as if that person is doing it. So the first rule of body storming, don't talk out your ideas. Don't start putting a post-it up on the wall about, let's do this and do that and do that. Just start trying it. This is because computeritis is definitely a growing problem, and body storming is the answer. Peter Drucker talked about this a long time ago with the rise of the IT departments and of accountancies for making decisions. We're not trying to figure it all out at the start. We're not trying to look at things that had happened in the past. We want to engage incredibly quickly in the iteration process, so fast that trying something, testing it, and getting feedback become one. And you're saying, that's impossible. It has to be a sequence. We do our process maps. You do one process, then step 2, and then step 3. But look at improv. So the way that I would explain body storming to my father is like improv. So when somebody's doing an improv up on the stage, when are they testing out a new idea? Separate that from when they're getting audience reaction and when they're making an adjustment into their joke. I don't think that you can. I don't think that people who are improv actors, do that. They're doing it all at the same time. So body storming is attempting to meld all of these together so quickly that you can change, adapt, and come up with new ideas faster than in any other sort of prototyping method. So the essence of body storming is group sketching or acting out of the ideas using your bodies as props. As you could see in there, you don't have to worry about creating walls or different computers. You just have another person play a computer or play another actor. The energy of body storming is from the way that people are people. So if you have 3 people that are doing a body storm, I don't have to worry about telling you what to do. When we are creating personas play so nicely together. When you have 3 people up on the stage trying to, or wherever they are doing a body storm and trying to figure something out, somebody might do something wrong. That's not wrong, that's just the way that it is. And that forces the other person to make an adjustment. All of these different types of complexity that exist in the real world, we're trying to replicate them or have them also in the body storm. And that's a huge power that you get. Your ideas will be more battle tested with complexity because of body storming. Okay, so you want people. This is using your strength as an actual person. Body storming is quick and very easy way to generate, see, and communicate ideas. So it's not just about you prototyping the ideas out, but as you can see, there was video recording that was going on. It's extremely easy to take a video of that and to present it to somebody else, to your higher up executives or VC fundings very quickly. Can have an idea of what are the impacts of this? What are the possibilities of this? Yes, let's go ahead and explore this idea further. So this is body storming, is people working in tight generate, do, and learn cycles all together. Some rules for body storming. use your body to act out your ideas. Try not to talk about your ideas, but act them out. This is kind of like poetry slam meets hacking meets participant observation, and you shouldn't have anybody be a tree. So the trick with body storming, like in this group, you're all in nice seats that are difficult to get out of. I'm going to ask at least some of you to get out into the walkways around here and give a try for body storming with one other person. It's very difficult to do it just observing. So if you're a tree, you're not going to understand. If you're trying it out, it'll make a lot more sense. These aren't so much rules, they're guidelines. Use your body to act out your ideas. Don't talk about your ideas, act them out. If you're having trouble that you're trying to explain them, then start speaking gibberish, you know, and in any way, shape, or form, don't talk about your ideas, act them out. So I said it's a prototype, it's probably more like a sketch. So extremely generative, but also very easy. So if you're dealing with somebody and you know, and maybe you're doing a body storm on somebody checking out a process, you know, for purchasing something, and the person who is the customer who's buying it is a jerk, right? And you want to convey that the sales clerk thinks that they're a jerk. Well, you don't have to worry about, what kind of facial expression do I need to put on my mien so that I can convey I think they're a jerk. No, just hold up a big piece of paper above that person's head with a thought bubble saying, this person's a jerk. Okay, so use labels as much as possible, labels around actors, so you just write who you are. I prefer a label of what role you're playing, maybe what emotion might be going through your head, and what your main goal is. Nice, big, on front of you. I think that helps an awful lot in getting people interacting together. Let's see, labels, thought bubbles. You can even use a narrator if you'd like. Think about it as watching TV. And your props can also have thoughts, feelings, and they can talk. So in this sense, you know, a computer or your cell phone or your mobile phone, somebody is an actor who embodies that device, and they have thoughts and feelings and actions, and they can pretend that they're a cell phone, and they just, you know, somebody else is maybe standing up there talking to it. So if it's Keith and myself, Keith, could you stand up for a second? Keith can be the person, and maybe this is his cell phone. And as he's interacting with the cell phone, right, I can say like, now I'm looking in the background to see what time of the day it is, so I can put appropriate background noise, or, you know, whatever it happens to be. So you can have things going on at the same time. If you saw, thanks, Keith. If you saw in the videos, there's lots of things happening at the same time. So don't think about a body storm as just being two people. You can have 2 or 3 or 4 groups of people all occurring at the same time, and it becomes quite confusing, but also extremely clear what are some problems that occur in when you're trying to do design. So when your group's working through its presentation, try to approach it with the spirit of yes and rather than no but. So a lot of time in improv is talked about, rather than trying to change somebody's idea by saying, well, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. You are forced, because you're not talking about your ideas, somebody has just acted something. You need to react to it and to take the ball from them, and you have to build on that. So there's no ability for you to say, well, we're not going to do that idea, we're going to do something else. You have to build through it, and that's what happens in a lot of expectations. What questions, does anybody have like 1 or 2 questions, and then we can try a quick storm? Does anybody have any questions? How many people have tried this question in the back?
Just practically,
Mm-hmm.
tend to record these.
Yes. Yes, so you have to use video recording. Even photography doesn't do good enough, so you video record it. If you go a couple different places, so in last year's, what is it? Yes, 2 years ago, I had an article, and it came out on body storming. I have a chapter coming out in a book for guerrilla methods later this year on body storming, all the practical things. But advice is that you get 2 cameras. One is one person very close in the middle of all the actors, and somebody probably in a far corner to get a larger perspective on what's going on. So I'd suggest 2 video recorders. But it goes really fast. You can be done with a body storm in 2 or 3 minutes. Any other questions? Okay.
Are there things this doesn't work well for?
Yes. I'm not quite sure what they are. I would say it's probably more so in the final stages of a project, but it's extremely useful for mobile projects or social projects. Have done it also very effectively for service design. Everything from real estate applications to redesigning the Canadian Post Office to interactions, service design in a store for retail. A lot of educational, also when you have different stakeholders and large different stakeholders or wildly different stakeholders, that helps an awful lot to understand who they are and what the impacts need to be. Okay. One other question, then we'll give it a try.
Do you have a guideline for how many participants you want for any given scenario?
I like to start in pairs, so 2 people, and then those get together into quads, and then those go up to 8. The maximum storm I've gone up to is 16 or 18 people together, but you can have multiple storms or troops that are performing this against the same problem. Okay. All right. What I'd like to do now is I'd like some people to give this a try. If you can double up with a partner, find one other person. So Dan and Keith, right up here, if you guys could go over to the side right there. Some people over there. I don't know, I cannot explain it enough. If you try it, even for the first storm with just 2 people together, this will make a lot more sense. So could some people in the back go over on the side? Come on, it's the end of the day. This is the last one.
If I'm doing it, you got to do it too.
You have to stand up and do this. We're not going to go through, there's all kinds of stretching exercises and stuff like that. You can read about those. We'll go into a very quick storm. Okay. Find a partner, so you and one other person. The first thing that I'd like you to do, and this is going to be the strangest thing that you could possibly imagine. What's something that you do very often and that you've done at a lot of conferences? This is one of the most strangest things. Now, don't do it yet, but you're going to shake the other person's hand. Now, before you do that, use your designer mind, right? All those stakeholders who are doing profiling and personas before they actually experience it themselves. What do you think is going to happen? What's it like to shake somebody's hand? Okay, so take a couple seconds. 10, 9, 8. What's it going to be like? Okay, now actually shake somebody's hand. Hi, my name's Dennis. Brian? Nice to meet you too. Oh my God, what just happened? Now describe to me, what are some of the emotions going through your mind? Were you afraid of them? Were you thinking, whoa, they're kind of good looking. Maybe, are they single? You know? Wait a second, is that somebody who might have an opening? I'm looking for a job right now. Wow, their hand was really warm. Brian's hand was wet. Was he kind of nervous? And if you get closer in different cultures, Mike, hi, how are you doing? Oh, wait, we're hugging now. Wait, were some people doing that because they knew each other? Are other people looking and seeing what I'm doing? All these different things. We even sometimes can get so close that we might smell the other person. All of those things you don't think about when you're not doing these activities. So the idea of body storming is to put yourself at least into the environment, into the interactions that occur, so that you can build this idea of empathy. So just shaking hands is something that's very difficult, something that you've done thousands of times, and yet it's so difficult to understand what is the experience and to describe that experience and move on into it. All right, so body storm. This is the body storm I'd like you to try and do. So you're in pairs. One of you is going to be the person of the future, so 20 years, or we can go with Carl Fast and we can go 100 years into the future, or 88 years into the future. One of you is going to be a person, and the other one is going to be their advanced Siri co-pilot. So Siri is no longer a application that helps you. It's not a electronic or robotic servant for you, but it's your co-pilot. It is part of your being. Legally, you two are one. When you go for jobs, you get hired together. Your salary, part of your salary goes into Siri's maintenance or whatever it happens to be. So try and work together right now. Perhaps you're thinking about some problem for the future. Maybe if you want to think about applying for a job, and how are you and Siri as co-pilots going to be thinking about a job? I want you to do this for 1 minute, 60 seconds. This is how quick it is. So give it a try for 60 seconds. Okay? One of you has to be Siri, and one of you has to be the real person. Yes. So right now you have to figure out who's going to be which role, and then figure out conversation that you're having. Start having a conversation. Be in your role. You have to be in your role. Okay, 20 seconds. Think about past history. You guys have been together for a while. Can your assistant interface with other co-pilots out there? Get background information, planning, testing, simulations. It senses all of your body, your emotions, your heart rate. Okay, time's up. That's it. Now, what I want you to do is find another pair. So over here we have Keith and Dan. Walk up here, find another pair. Now what you want to do is the two people, two physical people, are next to one another, and then the two Siri assistants are right behind the two live people. So Dan, you're behind Keith because you're his assistant, and oh, okay. Dan's the human, and Keith is. So now you two, the two humans interact with the overtones and the overtalking also coming from the assistants. So right now, you two, you can either take two different roles. One of the live people can be a job seeker, and the other one can be a interviewer, right, at a company, or you both can be job seekers and you're commiserating about you have all these different offers and which one are you going to take because you've graduated from SI and you have more opportunities than you can know about. Take either of those two scenarios. You're going to get another minute. Okay, 20 seconds left. Remember, you can't explain to the other person who you are. You have to talk about it. Okay, time's up. All right, you've just done two prototypes and two iterations. Now what I'd like to suggest, because we're bumping up against the end of the time, is that perhaps if we could have two groups that wouldn't mind sharing their interaction, you can continue to evolve this so you don't have to represent what you've just done. You can evolve it one step further. But you should also be able to look around the room. Hopefully you were seeing what other groups were doing, stealing their ideas. Stealing is a great thing to do. That's why one of the rules of Bodystorming is everybody has to be in the same room so you can steal ideas, and they evolve very rapidly. Do we have any groups that would be willing to present their little skit? I know it's the end of the day. Any groups?
I think the people who are closest to you should be the ones who do.
An opportunity. Okay, I don't, usually I would say like no observers and stuff like that. I know it's the end of the day. I'll give one more chance. Anybody, any group out there?
Just conscript them. Come on, they're right there. Just make sure.
So, would you guys be interested or? Okay, all right. Do you want to come up into this area? I'll hold the microphone nearby. So things to keep in mind. So when I do analyses on body storms, I break it down into 3 different characteristics. I look at who are the different actors that are there. I look at, with the actors, what are their goals and what are their feelings. Then I break it down for activities. I look, what are the activities, what are the individual acts that coalesce up into an activity, and how do acts then form to become larger events, right? What are the different types of events? And the third thing is I look at the spaces that people create with the different places and what things they use to identify one place from another place. So that's a very generic breakdown of setting analysis, which I think is